Welcome to the Explainer. Look, the Galaxy S25 Ultra is pretty much a perfect phone, right? So where does Samsung go from here? That's the big question we're tackling today. We're going to dive into all the rumors about the S26 Ultra and figure out if it's just a tiny update or a massive leap forward.
Yeah, the S25 Ultra is an absolute beast. I mean, it's got everything. So, naturally, when whispers about the S26 Ultra started flying around, we all had the same thought. How on earth do you improve on that? Well, let's unpack these leaks and see what Samsung might have up its sleeve.
Okay, so just looking at the specs side by side, whoa. These aren't just little tweaks, you guys. We're talking some potentially huge upgrades. The rumors are pointing to big changes in three main spots: the camera, the display, and, you guessed it, charging. But first, let's talk about something a little more immediate: how the phone is actually going to feel in your hand.
All right, section one, the look and feel. Samsung's design language is pretty iconic at this point, but it looks like the S26 Ultra is getting a few small but really significant physical changes.
So check this out. It's expected to be a little thinner, down to 7.9 millimeters, and about 4 grams lighter. Now, I know what you're thinking. 4 grams, who cares? But trust me, when you're holding a phone all day, those tiny refinements, they really add up. They can make a huge difference in how comfortable it feels. Okay, let's move on to what might just be the S26 Ultra's absolute killer feature: the camera, specifically in low light. You know that feeling, right? You're out with friends, it's dark, you take a photo, and it comes out all grainy and awful. Well, it sounds like Samsung is directly targeting that exact problem. Now, both phones are supposedly rocking a massive 200 megapixel sensor. But here's the thing, that's not where the real story is. The magic, the thing that's actually going to give you better photos, is hidden in a much more technical detail, and it makes all the difference.
Okay, to really get this, we've got to talk about aperture. Don't worry, it's simple. Think of it like the pupil of your eye. When you walk into a dark room, what happens? Your pupil gets wider to let in more light so you can see. A camera's aperture is the exact same thing. It's measured in something called f-stops. And all you need to remember is this: the lower the f number, the wider the opening, and the more light gets in.
So here it is. This is the big one. The S26 Ultra is rumored to have an f/1.4 aperture. The S25 Ultra, that's at f1.7. Now I know, 1.4, 1.7 doesn't sound like a huge leap, but in the world of photography, that is a massive deal. It means the S26's camera can suck in way, way more light. The result: brighter, cleaner, much better photos when it's dark. And get this, it's not just the main camera. They're bringing the same low-light focus to the 5x zoom lens. It's apparently getting an upgrade from a pretty slow f3.4 all the way to a much brighter f2.8. So yeah, that means your zoomed-in shots at night are going to be way sharper and clearer too. That's awesome.
Okay, so you've got this incredible new camera system, but you need some serious horsepower to run it, right? Of course. So let's pop the hood and look at the engine inside the S26 Ultra, because yeah, it's also getting a huge upgrade. So the rumor is the S26 Ultra will be one of the very first phones to ship with Qualcomm's next-generation chip, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. This is basically the Formula One engine of smartphone processors. We're talking top-of-the-line, bringing some absolutely serious power to the table. But what does a new chip actually mean for you day-to-day? Well, we're looking at an estimated 30 to 40% performance boost for things like graphics and AI. In plain English, your games are going to run buttery smooth, probably at higher frame rates. And all those cool AI features like, magically erasing something from a photo, they're going to feel instantaneous, just poof, done. But, it's not just about raw power and fancy cameras. It looks like the S26 Ultra is also going to pack some really clever new features that are all about privacy and just making your life easier. This is the stuff that really makes a phone feel, well, next gen. Okay, so 3 big new features are really standing out in the rumors. First, a new kind of privacy display. Second, even faster charging. And third, satellite connectivity for emergencies, which, let's be honest, is pretty much becoming a standard feature you expect on a high-end phone these days. So this privacy display thing sounds really cool. When you're on a bus or a plane and you can feel the person next to you reading over your shoulder? This is designed to stop that. It basically narrows the viewing angle of the screen, so if you're looking at it from the side, it just looks dark. Only you, looking straight on, can see your stuff. Pretty smart. And faster charging is always a welcome upgrade, right? The rumor is the S26 Ultra will jump to 60-watt charging, up from 45 watts. Now look at this chart. In just half an hour, that could get you to a 75% charge. That's a whole 10% more juice than the S25 Ultra gets in the same amount of time. When you're about to run out the door, that 10% is a huge deal. All right, so let's step back and look at the whole picture. When you add all of this up, is the S26 Ultra a true upgrade? I mean, is this something worth getting excited about? Or is it just another small, yearly step forward?
You know, what's interesting is that the S26 Ultra doesn't seem to be about one single massive headline-grabbing feature. Instead, it looks like a whole collection of really meaningful, significant upgrades across the board that, together, create a way better phone. You've got the design, the low-light camera, the massive performance jump, and these clever new features. So here's where we land. If even half of these rumors pan out, the S26 Ultra isn't just an update. No way. This is a legitimate leap forward. It feels like it could actually redefine what we should expect from a top-tier flagship phone. And that leaves us with one final huge question. Is this the phone that sets the new standard for everyone else to chase? I guess we'll have to wait and see.